Okay, we're throwing away that last ending. We're filling this thing up right now. I'm going to show you how well it works. I wanted to make sure y'all know, anytime you're going to be using marine goop, can you see this? Where I'm going to goop this thing and squeeze it in. You want to make sure that you rough up the edges with some rough sandpaper. I use like an 80 grit. And then clean everything off with I use alcohol. Just put it on a little bit of a paper towel and just rub it across everything. Gets the oils and powder and dust and everything off of it. Alright, so we're filling this thing up. We're going to watch it take off and then we're going to close the video. And we're waiting. And we're waiting. Okay, so we've got it wired. I still have to put the goop on this. And I wanted to tell you this. Make sure that you rough up the edges around it with like some 80 grit sandpaper. Just kind of clean it up. And then I like to wipe it all down with alcohol to get rid of any oils or anything that's on it that'll keep the goop from sticking like it should. And then I like to put just a nice trough of goop right across through this thing, through the groove, and then start working it in with the end of my flathead screwdriver. And that's how I did it the first time. It takes a little bit of patience at first, but you'll start getting it. It takes a little bit of strength too, as I recall. I haven't done it yet, but it's been about 6 months since I did it the last time. Okay, so we're going to fill it up, and I've already tested this. It does work, especially when you actually have the electric connected, because I forgot to do that earlier. I was wondering why it didn't go off. Okay, so we're all connected, and yes, I know there's not a nut on there yet, but it'll work for the moment. Okay, and we're filling and we're filling and we're filling. And while we're filling, let me demonstrate where the ejection is, right? So we've got the through hole fitting sitting right here. It blows water directly into this, but that's okay. This is stainless steel and powder coated, and I know it's popping off, but anyway, it'll take the water, no big deal. It just kind of splits right there and just dumps into the water, into the ocean. And then I'll own my mistake. I don't know if I showed this or not earlier. I thought that this fitting here would work really good right here, because I thought the water line was like here. Yeah, right. The water line's about right here, right in the middle of my... And we just got hit by the water. How's that? That's a fun video. Bilge pump works. Alright, so now let me shut this off and I'll show you how much water is actually in there. I don't know if you can actually see in there or not, but it looks like there's about, I don't know, 1.5 inches or so of water in there. And so we're dumping it out. It'll dump for, well, about this long. See how it's starting to spit already? And that allows us to get most of the water out of this boat, because it'll go like this for most of a minute probably. And as it dumps itself out, of course the boat empties out, the weight dumps out of the boat becomes more buoyant, everybody's happy, we continue fishing. Everything is about the fishing. It's all about the fish. Ask Kayak Girl, she'll tell you. I can't tell you how many times she's threatened to go without me. So, anyway, this is how we did it. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any video responses, let me know. If you found a better way to do it, let me know. Anyway, that's it. Kayak Girl and Her Man Friday, out. Parting shot. Here it is finished, okay? So I gooped it. It went in actually really easy. I just pushed in one side of this, start at one side where you split it with my thumb, and I just pushed it in, and it just worked my way right around. It popped right in. So then I took the goop and I made sure I smoothed it out between and around the wires and in the split, right? Remember, the goop was in the groove of the fitting, or whatever we want to call this thing, and so it's perfectly watertight right now. As soon as it's done, it's not quite done drying, right? So it's cure time. Then when it does, I'll clean off some of the crap that's on the wires here. But you want to make sure you wipe as much of it off as possible before it sets, because once it's set, you own it. All right, there you go.